Well, I think a couple things just to recap the scrimmage Saturday. I thought the energy, the tempo was really good Saturday. Like you've been asking me and things that we talked about coming out of the offseason, getting ready for camp, what were some of the things of importance from a defensive perspective was the ball. And the ball was definitely alive Saturday. I think we had 3 interceptions. I think we caused 4 fumbles, didn't recover all of them, but that's a great start to attacking the football from a defensive perspective. I thought the line of scrimmage was really physical on both sides of the ball, which was good for us. I thought seeing the young players in action was obviously good to see, to watch them run around first time kind of being out there on the field by themselves. In settings where you can go from all the different scenarios and you see certain guys respond and certain guys that have work to do, and that's okay, but at least it gave us a little bit of a gauge on that front. Obviously we had a couple pretty significant injuries Saturday, losing Junior Angulau and Isaiah Nair to season-ending injuries, which was tough. But that's the game, football is the game, and that's why you got to continue to build depth so they have other guys to step up and play. I hate it for them. I feel for those guys. They both had really good off seasons to get ready for the season. So, my prayers go out to them and them getting better and getting healthy and coming back stronger than ever. For us, now it's next man up, and we got to make sure that we've got those pieces in place, which I think we've done a good job of in recruiting to ensure that we can do that. So, we got plenty of time. We'll be okay on that front. We had a couple other guys get nicked up that are going to be out for a short, limited time. Roshan Johnson, Jade Barron, and Cole Hudson. So, no different than probably a lot of other teams. About this time of camp, you start to get nicked up. Unfortunately, we had a couple season ending, but like I said, the next guy's got to be able to step up and go. And unfortunately, we lost a couple other guys for a few days, maybe a week or two, but they'll get themselves back. I think the last order of business is just the suspension of Ajay Hall. We're working with Ajay, we're working with his family to get him in a situation where he can be a really functional part of this team. And the goal for him, the goal for us, is to play great football at the University of Texas, graduate from the University of Texas, and be a great teammate and walk out of here an even better person than he did when he arrived. And so we're putting all the pieces in place to help him do that. When the time is right, we'll have him back on our team. I think like anything, everybody's at a different stage of their career. My job as a coach is to put our players in the best position to be successful, not just in football, but in life, in the classroom. I felt like this situation called for that. This was not something that was based off of one incident. This is something that was a body of work that I felt like I need to help the young man, and that's what we're going to do. And I think that he's been very receptive to it, and hoping when he does come back and join us, he's going to be in a really good spot to help contribute to the team.
Can you, because they're season ending, can you say what's Junior and Isaiah's ankles?
ACLs. Both of them had ACLs, yes.
Okay. And were they contact drills?
They were
rolled up, or?
No. One, Isaiah's was non-contact. Junior's was kind of in the midst of the fray, but technically it was non-contact. When it occurred, there was no contact by anybody else.
Okay.
The Junior's injury, I know y'all like to cross-train and have guys
Yeah.
play multiple positions, but does that hurt you all more at guard or center with the depth?
I'd probably go a little bit more with center, with him just being that first backup to Jake. Now I still feel comfortable about Cole Hudson being able to play center. I still feel pretty good about Connor Robertson being able to play center, and Logan Parr has center experience. So we're not, we came into camp very deep at that position intentionally. So I don't think we're in dire straits anywhere. But what it does, it puts our young players in a position to see who can step up and who can fill those spots as they present themselves. And so whether it's a Cole Hudson, a DJ Campbell, a Neto, some of these guys are going to get real opportunities to step into those positions. Obviously Hayden Connor's been doing a nice job for us at guard, so there's going to be a great competition. And like every other position, competition should bring out the best in the guys that are in the midst of it.
Yeah, those three other guys, Jade, Rojo, and Cole. Do you expect those injuries to bleed into the season, or do you think you'll have them available for week 1, or is it?
I think we'll have them back by then. Again, we're not in a position to where we have to rush them back, but I sure don't want them sitting off to the side and getting rusty. So hopefully we can get them back, at some point before week 1 of the season. But if it takes that long, it takes that long.
Well, do you, because now you're down 2 receivers, do you go in that room and try to give a pep talk or pump them up? But who needs to step up, to fill a void like that?
I think Coach Marion does a heck of a job, first of all, coaching those guys. I think that we've got really good leadership in that room, obviously with Jordan Whittington, Xavier Worthy. We've had some players start to emerge and start to take really positive steps in a direction where we're starting to count on them. Casey Kane's been a guy to me that's been a really pleasant surprise. This training camp has made some plays. I think that, as I touched on, we're starting to see some steps in Troy O'Meary. We have high expectations for Brennan Thompson, Savion Red. So, I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but the goal is to making sure that when we go play that first game, we've got our frontline crew ready to go, and that we've got the crew behind that front line that is capable to go in when needed. And I think we'll get to that spot. We like we do every training camp in our system. We put a lot on the receivers about the first 8-9 days, and then now from here to the first ball game, it's a lot of fine tuning, a lot of detailed work that they're getting now.
Sark, you mentioned before, talking about your offense with the receiver position. You ask guys to learn multiple positions, not pigeonholing guys. How much does that help manufacture depth and help at times right now where maybe you've got some position flex to move guys around and figure out the best combination?
Well, I think it's huge. I think that at the end of the day, the two guys that are probably the most comfortable playing anywhere on the field are Xavier and Jay Witt. And so that's very comforting, knowing your two most experienced guys are the most comfortable going anywhere, playing any spot. I think Tariq Milton is another guy. His experience has helped him learn to where he feels very comfortable going anywhere. I think Casey Kane could line up anywhere. Some of the younger players sometimes are a little bit more limited to what they know, but the goal is we keep trying to push and keep trying to get them to learn. Clearly, you can. We saw it with Xavier last year. He played just about every position for us. So do I expect him to have it all through 10 practices? No. That probably wouldn't be very realistic, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop coaching him. So at the end, when we get ready to go play our first ball game, the goal is to feel really comfortable with 6 guys that can go in that game and regardless of the situation in the game, feel good about what they can do. But we definitely need those first 3 to be ready to go play and play at a really high level.
Did either of the quarterbacks in the scrimmage do enough to earn the starting role?
Not yet, no. Not that they played fine. I think they all, I think the offense in general probably looked at the film and said, man, we had some missed opportunities. Whether it was throws that maybe weren't where they needed to be at what time and with the right accuracy. I think we had a couple drops from a receiver standpoint that I know those guys would love to have back that could have created explosive plays. The running game obviously created some explosive plays for us. So I think offensively they're probably looking at we missed some ops. But that's good. I want them to feel that way, not walking out of there thinking, man, we didn't do anything. They created enough explosive plays, but there were more there that I think they're chomping at the bit to get back out there and go attack again.
How would you describe the separation, Steve, at quarterback? Is it tight? Is it?
Yeah, I would say it's tight. I would say both guys are working very hard. They both got great attitudes. I've actually talked to both of them separately just about their mindset, the room, how they're working with and with one another, but yet competing with one another. But I think they both are operating and doing it at a high level. And I think both of them recognize, man, there's room for me to improve. And if I'm the other guy, he's thinking, man, there's room for me to improve. And that's what I love. They're not worried about what the other guy's doing. Their focus is on what they're doing now and what they can do moving forward, and that's, I think, what's making it really healthy.
You touched on it at the beginning about you were glad to see the defense get some turnovers.
Yeah.
But offensive guy, I mean, just when you see the ball on the ground 4 times,
Yeah.
I mean, how much does that eat at you? And
Well,
hang
you
on
know,
to it?
I think the way a couple of them came out are very fixable things. You know, it wasn't so much that we were just running with the ball loose. I think it was the finish to a couple of the plays. I think one started with a exchange with the quarterback and the center that led to a poor exchange to the running back, which in turn led to he didn't get a great grip on the ball and got hit and the ball came out. What I love is that the defense took advantage of those things when they presented themselves. So I think offensively, I was probably a little more concerned with a couple of the interceptions, especially when they occurred and how they occurred. But again, that's our job to coach it and coach it out of the guys to eliminate those.
What was the psyche like after the injuries on Saturday and then today when you got back out there, considering all the adversity talk you guys have kind of gone with the team?
I thought the psyche was great, and we competed our tail off Saturday. We ran well over 100 plays. It was well over 100 degrees. We conditioned afterwards. They ran gassers. There was great spirit on the team. We had an off day yesterday and came out and had one of our more energized practices we've had in camp. So I think the psyche is really good. We've got good leadership on the team, and we've got a lot of hungry young players that provide a lot of juice as well.
Is that refreshing to see, considering all the work you talked about?
I mean, you know, as a coach, you know, I'm of the adage, you get what you emphasize, you know, and we've obviously emphasized culture, team bond, accountability here for nearly 8 months. And to see it come out and come to fruition, especially through a time when maybe guys weren't feeling as good, that's a positive, you know. And what I saw even Saturday, you know, some of the younger players, you know, maybe get frustrated because they were going the wrong way or making a mistake or the ball didn't come their way, which is understandable. They're trying to figure it out. I saw veteran players go over and take the lead. They didn't wait for the coach to come and do it. They took the lead. So all those things to me are really positive because we put a lot of time and effort into it. And for us to be the team that we want to be, that connectivity is critical to our success.
Got time for 2 last ones?
Tomorrow's practice, is that going to be kind of a vanilla deal, or is this a full scale practice?
I mean, we're going to practice. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a good practice, but it'll be grandma's cookies without the secret ingredients, if you know what I mean. You know, it's going to be probably scaled down, watered down. I'd love to go out and show all our stuff. The problem is, you know, with social media, people like to film and put it out there, and then, you know, I got, you know, Joe from ULM watching, you know, Billy up in the stands filming our practice. So that part's unfortunate because I'd love to show all the cool stuff we've been working on, but unfortunately, that's just the nature of the structure of it all. I love the fact that we get to get out and be around our fans and them to see that our guys work and work hard, but schematically, it'll be pretty vanilla.
Yeah, Steve, going back to the wideouts, you know, obviously there's an opportunity for the younger guys to step up and maybe earn some reps and targets. What would you want to see from, like, you know, Brandon Thompson, Savion Red, those guys?
Well, I think one is consistency. You know, I think for us in our system, the first challenge to be counted on to play is, one, you have to know what to do. The second one is you need to know how to do it. I don't really care if they know why they're doing it that way right now, but they need to know what to do and how to do it, and then they need to use their skill set and go play fast. They're both very talented young men, so that's what we're working through, is that consistency of play, of what to do and how to do it, and then do it with them using their skill set to be as electric as they can be.